Well, the top 25 reasons bar and restaurants fail, the real reason isn't even in there. It's like a paradox or something.
Wow.
It's basically hospitality. Like they don't have a plan. A lot of people don't have a service plan. They just think good food, good drinks, good decor, and like it'll kind of take care of itself.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Linecheck podcast. It's me, Brendan Villarreal, your host. Today I'm in the studio with Stephen Salhus of Rebar. How's it going?
Good, brother. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. It's a little toasty in here.
Yeah.
Summer is starting to really creep in now. Other than that, I'm doing good. It's nice to have you in the studio today. Yeah. Stephen is a restaurant consultant, but he likes to call it coaching, restaurant coach. And kind of like, I get it because I was in sports my entire life. So coaching is definitely like a good word instead of consultant. Consultant sounds, I don't know, like a money grabber.
Yeah, definitely. It's stuffy.
Sorry, I know friends that are consultants. I'm not talking trash on you. But you guys are money grabbers. Just kidding.
Right?
Coaching. And, you know, when I'm on the line or if I'm like whenever I was a sous chef or whatever, CDC, I always thought myself as like a coach or a mentor to my line cooks or whoever I was working with to try and, you know, coach them to be the best, you know, employee they could be. Yeah. And that's what you are for restaurants.
Yeah,
bars,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's fun. I didn't know you played sports your whole life too. That's exactly what I did. That's the only thing I was good at.
Oh, we could talk about sports. I think that's why I liked working in the kitchen so much because it felt like a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I played like football, I played water polo, I played soccer, I did track and field, you know, MMA and other stuff too, I think.
Long list, man.
But it's like having a team, you know, vibe in the kitchen is very much to like any other sport that I've played. And I think that's why I enjoy it so much because, you know, one person has to do their job to get where you need to be, and then you help them and they help you. So
yeah, and it's performative too, right? It's so industrious, just like sports, like just go.
Yeah, and everyone has their own station.
Yeah. You have like your position.
Yeah, your position.
Responsibilities are different.
Yeah,
and, like you have a role. I mean, like I worked in like high volume bars, which is funny to say because like I feel like all kitchens are high volume, and so you probably had a lot of experience.
Yes, high volume kitchens for sure.
Yeah.
What's a high volume bar like? Because I've never worked in a bar before. I've always thought about it because I'm like, dang, I want those tips.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll be a bar back, but I don't want to be a bartender.
Yeah. I bar back too for a minute, and that was fun too. It's cool. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. You're working with your hands the whole time and engaging with guests, and so you're building relationships and then like working, and the work is actually fun. And so it's different between like if you're just at like a beer and shop place as opposed to like craft, where craft high volume is just like next level.
Yeah, it sounds crazy. Just because like I don't know a lot about spirits. Besides like I just like give me the well whiskey or something like that. But I'm not like I know every single one of these different things, and you know, it takes time to learn these things. And just like if I was, you know, I'm a cook and I know all the spices or whatever, it'd be the same, you know, if I was in a bar.
Yeah. I mean, you just go for balance, really, because you're working with big ingredients like spitters or spirits, which are really bitter, and then like citrus, and then sugars, which of course sweet. And so you just balance it out.
Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and like how you started?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too deep in it, but I mean, I'm from Long Beach. I was born at Memorial here.
Me too.
And nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And my first job was, as I like to say, I was like 3 years old working at my grandma's restaurant. I was sitting on the host stand passing out mints and toothpicks. She had a restaurant right here on Wardlow.
Wait, what was it called?
It's called Kiwanis. It's not there anymore.
What kind of food was it?
Wardlow and Woodruff, I think. It was like diner food with like cakes. They had like the display of like cakes and pies.
Yeah. When did it? How long was it around for? Like when did?
So that's the that's part of the story of like why I got into it. She was like her lifelong dream to open a restaurant, and finally did in like her 60s or something like that, and was like open and shut within 2 years.
Oh wow.
It was like, yeah, it was just a lot. And
Yeah.
that's what restaurants are. They're just a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And so that was, I don't know if she like changed the name after that or kept it, but she was like, yeah, in and out within 2 years.
What year was it?
A 92 and 93.
Damn, I was barely born yet.
Yeah, you might.
I'm
have
like, damn, maybe I remember because I know those cross streets. I was like, I wasn't really alive. I was alive, but I was only like 2 years old. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I was there at, like I jokingly said, that was my first job, but, yeah, like that was, like I said, her lifelong dream. And then my dad was like, he was into bars and too. And so it's kind of always in my blood.
Mm-hmm.
He worked at bars. And so, yeah, after college, just got a job in a bar to pay off student loans and fell in love with it right away. Even though like my family said, don't work in those places. Like, they have all the bad stories and stuff. And so, but I couldn't help myself, loved it. And just worked in bars, started bartending I did it for like almost 10 years. And, yeah, learned a lot with my experience. I got, some really cool mentors and like wanted to take it really seriously. And yeah, instead of like chasing my career with college, I just said like, this is my job for life. I'm going to do something in this industry. And my grandma was a big inspiration because of like, it was her lifelong dream. She got the restaurant, immediately was like in over her head with like what to do, how to solve all these problems, how to handle all this, the day-to-day crazy stuff. And yeah, so that was like my inspiration to get into consult or coaching. And so
Yeah.
that's pretty much what I did.
I was gonna say, if you like what you're doing right now is helping other restaurant owners figure out how to operate a business.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time to help save your grandma's restaurant, would you?
Of course. Yeah. She needed help right away, and there was nobody to ask. There's consulting firms, but they're all bigwigs, and they only help like people who with
corporate,
big bankroll and stuff like that, a lot of capital. And so that's kind of, I absolutely would have helped her. And so that's what I'm doing now is I'm helping independent bars and restaurants like mom and pops and neighborhood bars and the ones who need the help but don't have access to those high-end consultants. Yeah. I'm accessible. I have like, I come in and I've got like based off, I get paid off for performance. And so like it's no risk. And so, yeah, it's only been a little while now, but I've had really good success. And
that's awesome.
To do it, yeah.
As I am starting to venture into that, trying to open a business with my girlfriend, and we went to like business class for a little bit last year. And I feel like there's like so much information that entails to open a business, and there's resources out there that can help you, but they're very few. Yeah. And there's a lot of shit that takes to open a business, and you're like, damn, like I'm already stuck on just like finance part, and I'm still thinking about like you gotta do marketing. You need to think about labor. You have to think about the laws, all the permits you need to open a restaurant, all the different types of permits that you need. And it's just, they don't make it easy to open a restaurant.
No. Yeah. Right.
It's so hard.
And then once you do, it's like an 80% failure rate, for independents, which sucks. It's not fair.
Yeah. It's not fair. It's like you're already set up to fail.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it feels like. And it's a gamble. And it's scary. And it's like, why do you want to do this?
Yeah.
I want to do it. Just, it's scary.
It's scary.
To play with money, it's scary.
Yeah. Out of any small business, it's the lowest margin, like that industry is, it's scary. But I mean, there's a way to do it. And like, I can help with like, almost like I don't want to be like a one-stop shop, but I can. I don't like to get into marketing stuff. I have a friend who's really good at it. But I try to keep it simple too. That's when a lot of these independent owners will come in without any bar or restaurant experience, and they'll come in and not know what to do, just like my grandma. And so I try to simplify it, break it down, and I try to help them too get out of the bar. They don't a lot of them they'll get to bar a restaurant and they'll realize they bought themselves a job and they're in there 70, 80 hours a week. And so I try to get them out of there with that. But I was really grateful to get a consultant myself. Before I got into this, I didn't just say, I want to do this one day. I seeked out a consultant, hired a business coach, and just went all in on, because I wanted results. I didn't want to just, you know what I mean? And so, I just raised my knowledge base like an accelerated rate. And so, there's I've got a couple like strengths that I focus on. And I don't know if you want to get super in there.
Talk about those. Yeah.
Right on. Well, basically it's, hospitality. I help you with like a hospitality plan.
It's very important.
That's like, I think the main thing. If you Google like the top 25 reasons bar and restaurants fail, the real reason isn't even in there. It's like a paradox or something.
Wow.
It's basically hospitality. Like they don't have a plan. A lot of people don't have a service plan. They just think good food, good drinks, good decor, and like it'll kind of take care of itself, which those things help. You need those, but you need a hospitality plan. And so I come in and try to teach them to teach your staff, and I'll be hands-on with their staff too, and I'll teach them how to win at hospitality. Like if you go around, I could probably go to any restaurant right now and take 10 of their employees like individually and ask them, how do you win at hospitality? They'd all have different answers, and rightfully so. Nobody's taught them. But if you go and ask a basketball team, how do you win at basketball, or any football or baseball, like it's super, everybody knows.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And so I try to simplify that and try to teach them that. And so basically, I keep it I keep it basic. Not simple, but basic. And you basically have like first-time guests. Every first-time guest is giving you a shot to turn into a repeat customer. And then when you become a repeat customer, then you have a chance to turn them into like a raving fan. Mm-hmm. And I give them like a playbook, and it's not so much scripted. I don't try to micromanage because then that takes away their autonomy, takes away their creativity and stuff. But not everybody wants to be treated the same. One of the worst pieces of advice that I hear so much is like, oh, treat the guests how you want to be treated. Yeah. And it's like, I like to get, when I walk into a bar, I like the bartender to bust my balls.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like more cussing, the funnier and the better. And so, or how do you teach a 22-year-old host how to make a 62-year-old person feel good about their day? It's tough. And so I pretty much give them this one-sheet hospitality plan with like the core values, how to talk to guests at different times. Like, what is a guest at lunch like? They like kind of quicker service. They need to get back to work. What do you like when they're busy? Things like that. How to recover relationship when things go bad. Yeah, which is really important. I can fit this all on one page, and if you can fit it all on one page, then everybody's gonna be on the same page. And so you basically just try to make them smile. That's like went down to the basics. Try to make your guests smile, and like old classic chivalry really helps. Yeah. It's just like a stand-up comedian. It's like set up, punchline, and there's a format to it, and I give them that format.
Yeah, a lot of times, literally every time, what's the first thing you do when you walk into a restaurant? Is the interaction with the host, bartender, or the server. And if you hit on that interaction the first time, they're already set up. You're already set up to have a great service with that guest. Yeah. If you miss on that point, that you miss the opportunity for the guests to enjoy their dinner. That maybe left a sour note in their taste. And like my girlfriend works in hospitality as FOH, and she always says like when you deal with a difficult customer or guest, that is your opportunity to shine, to win them back. You know what I mean? Don't, because a lot of places would be like, oh, fuck this person. Yeah. Like, they're difficult guests. Like, I don't want to deal with them. I'm just giving them shitty service now. It's like, no, this is an opportunity to win them back. Yeah. It's like, you gotta like do the thing.
She's so right. That's exactly
don't just like let it go bad, because then, you're missing another guest to come back in your restaurant. Or, they don't want to, maybe you write a bad Yelp review or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like teaching those things to employees, because a lot of times, people just be like, well, fuck them. Yeah. And that's the wrong thing to do. You don't want to do that. Like, that's bad attitude. Like, we're in the hospitality industry, not the fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the guests will pay even if they don't leave a bad review. They'll pay with their feet. They'll go somewhere else.
So, what is your second one?
Profit. So I can get there's some formulas I can give them for increasing their profits. It's essentially every owner I usually come in contact with. They're like, how do I get my Tuesday going? How do I get my Wednesday morning going? And it's like, well, the first thing we do is we focus on your peak profit hours. Like that's the key. And there's about 12 to 18 hours a week that these bars and restaurants are their peak profit hours, right? Like between 6 and 9 and like a restaurant dinner place, between like 8 and midnight at a happening bar. Like those hours, there's about, like I said, 12 to 18 a week. And I focus in on those, and it's just like basic ergonomics where I just try to streamline everything. With bars, I essentially just turn them into kitchens. The kitchens are like so far and ahead of bars when it comes to like speed and efficiency. Everything's right there, mise en place, right? As you know. And so that's basically what I do with bars. During those times, it's like I'll go sit at the bar and I'll put 2 imaginary lines, or even I'll put a piece of tape where the well's at, where the bartender's at, and every time, like right around it, and every time they walk out of that station, I'll kind of take a note of what they got. And it's usually like they're grabbing this bottle of tequila or gin that people keep ordering, and they keep walking out, keep walking away. And so those seconds really do add up, and I just try to shave those seconds down and eliminate all that. If you need I'd bring that bottle closer.
Yeah.
Or you run out of limes 4 times within peak profit. Like, let's get a giant thing of limes right by the well, right in the cooler.
It's funny. I went to a wedding recently, and there was an open bar.
Yeah.
Zarek knows because he was there with me. But they had all the beers in the back. Yeah. So every time someone wanted a beer, they had to go walk all the way to the back and grab a beer. And I was like, who designed this bar? I was like, this doesn't make any sense. You're making this person walk like more steps just to grab a beer every time for a beer line.
Yeah, it's incredible. There's just it's not thought out. And so like for a bar, like a busy bar, say the bartender averages $500 an hour in sales through that register. If I streamline everything, I bring it in, I'm not adding to your bottom line. I'm not adding more people on the clock, or your electricity's not going up. Your fixed costs are always the same. I increase it to try to get it to like $6.50 an hour, and it's not too much. That doesn't take too much, but what that does is you're making about 70 to 80 cents on that every dollar of that. And so it compounds, and it can almost lead to doubling your revenue a month if you just really hone it in on those hours. Wow.
Yeah, those are things I would not think about.
Yeah, right. And that's those things I've learned throughout the years.
How long does it, like, I know that it takes a restaurant, like, 5 years to finally see profits?
About, yeah.
Or like 2 to 5?
Well, it depends on investors.
Depends on,
But usually it's all friends and family and fools giving
money.
And
like the first 2 years are like a loss usually because you're just trying to make the money back that you spent. Yeah, it's so scary.
It's nuts. I mean, if you think about like if you go to a bank, like banks are barely giving bars and restaurants money now. It's like there's such a liability. You can choke on a chicken bone. You can slip. There's spills all the time. You can slip and fall. So you go to the bank and say, okay, I'd like $1 million to open up this small restaurant. And say, okay, who's gonna sell your product? Oh, it's a 22-year-old who doesn't want to be here and is trying to just go to college, or it's gonna end. Okay, how are you open during the day? Or no, we're open up till 2 a.m. and it's really dark. Yeah, everywhere's really dark. We dim the lights, and so it's all these like.
That's the grasshopper.
Yeah,
is that why they don't turn the lights on? Because they don't dim them down sometimes, so you see the glow in the dark wallpaper. So sometimes when I come in there, the light's like really up. You think that's the reason? Because they don't want anyone to slip and fall?
Yeah, it might be. They might have had. I mean,
because I'm always like, why the lights so bright in here? I want to see the glow in the dark wallpaper.
Yeah. Have you been to Bamboo? Bamboo's?
Of course I've been to Bamboo.
Yeah, silly question.
I used to work there. I helped open it.
Oh, nice.
And
you did a food program?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'd work the morning shift, do prepping sometimes. I wouldn't work at nighttime because I worked at a different restaurant at night during that time. And I'd leave there in the morning, like probably 12, whatever, and I'd walk outside. I'm like, holy shit, I can't.
Yeah, right.
It's like so bright. I was in the dungeon
Yeah.
for like 5 hours.
Yeah, the poor old folks who come in, they open a door and they have to take like a minute to
For
see
the
the
eyes
floor.
adjust. Yeah. Yeah,
Where's the floor?
They should do like a little tunnel where the light just slowly gets darker. So they're like, oh, okay, there we go. Instead of like, whoa.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah,
that'd be some ambiance. Yeah.
It's like when someone takes flash photography right in your face.
Exactly. That's what it's like. You're just blasted.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Am I gonna trip?
That's awesome. Like, these are all great things to know, and that's awesome that you're helping out small businesses. Because there's so many that do fail, and they're definitely not given the tools to succeed.
Yeah.
So how does like someone go about with hiring you to help them coach?
Well, a lot of times I'll reach out to them and I'll come in and like do like a little secret shopper thing and like see if they like if they're doing the things, if the bartenders are leaving the well all the time and stuff like that. And so it's some door knocking and cold calling, but they can reach out to me. I don't do a website. I think, like I said, I don't want to be those high end consultant things. So they just reach out to me. I think I got my phone number even on the Instagram page. So you can find me through the Stephen Salhus on Instagram or the Rebar Co on Instagram. And we just start a little DM and I come in and we have a sit down. And I do, like I said, I have my strengths, but I basically start out with like, okay, what are your main problems? What are your challenges? And a lot of it's like surface level stuff, and we can nip those in the bud quick. But yeah, we just have a formal sit down, usually on a slow day, and kind of go from there.
Would you do like any coaching on like managing or labor? Because I know there's a lot of restaurants are having a hard time keeping their labor.
Yeah,
a lot of people are quitting these days because the evolving, kitchen culture, restaurant culture, servers and line cooks. So would you be able to coach on like, how do I keep people from stop quitting,
Yeah. Retention, right? Staff retention is a big thing. The turnover is crazy. I help them with staff retention big time. So that's good. I saw you have Chef Ben Quinn on, which was a super, really, really cool episode you had.
Very cool. He was one of the coolest guys to talk to.
Yeah.
And I was really excited to get him because I met him at a farm dinner we did with Lacita a long time ago. And he was just happened to be in town. I'm like, hey, you want to be on the podcast? He's like, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, his like the way he came up with this concept to help, run his own businesses was just really cool. Like flipping the chain upside down and putting them at the bottom.
Yeah.
And giving everyone the power to, be their own kind of like boss. It's very cool. And it seems like it's working for him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's successful. And so it's a lot of that. It's a lot of like, hey, stop yelling at your staff. Stop disrespecting or marginalizing your staff. And so there's so much of that. Like you see, I don't know if you talked about the bear.
I think we talk about it sometimes. I haven't even watched the third season yet.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil nothing.
But I was like, there's been opportunities to turn it on, and I'm just like, I just did this all day. I was like, I don't want to watch this before I go to bed. It's like, let's put on Lord of the Rings instead.
Yeah.
Sounds more my tea right now.
I need to listen after watching The Bear at night. And before bed, I need to listen to like sleep music after. It stresses me out.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not feeling this right now. I do like the show a lot. I just haven't watched the third season yet, but I'll get there. It'll happen, like probably in a binge.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like, it's like how they talk to their employees, like cussing at them. That's very like traditional, but it's also probably still happening now. I'm pretty sure. Like there's places like that. There's no way that it's just like gone now.
Yeah.
I just think employees are more aware of what they can do to the business if that were to happen. Be like, oh, you talk like this to me, like I'm suing you, or something like that, or I quit, or something like that. So it's just like everyone's kind of on their toes now and watching how they have to act with their employees because they also want to keep them, but they also, it's a weird line right now. It seems tough though, like just hearing stories from other people that are just having a hard time keeping their employees.
Yeah, it's also it's like yeah, I tell them to knock that shit off, but also like I get where it's coming from. Like they're stressed, owners and management stressed. They're like with money, price of goods has gone skyrocketing.
There's lots of factors going on, behind closed doors that employees don't see.
Yeah, but that doesn't excuse.
Yeah,
it.
there's no excuse.
No
exactly,
excusing what the fuck they're doing. But like I help the owners with their problems. Their problems get less or go away, and they get less stress and hopefully treat the staff better. But also like tell them like your staff is like the most valuable asset you have, and so you have to respect them and give them benefits, not like the traditional like benefit packages like insurance and stuff, but like do a family meal.
Yeah.
Do like get your cooks a new pair of boots once a year. Yeah. Right. Like and then I mean if you give them this playbook, this little one sheet hospitality plan, it's so impactful, and it gives the staff so much authority and autonomy to help them, but also like I'll teach them how to sell too. And I get rid of upselling. I think upselling is ridiculous. I think it's so like I teach them how to sell with dignity, right? And so like I'll do like an optimal sell instead of somebody saying, oh, it talks about like ordering the half chicken, and you try to upsell them on like the ribeye. It's like, no, if they want the chicken, just maybe have a little add-on of like your house relish. It's really good, and there's something that goes with it that makes sense. That and stuff like that, little things like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, instead of like trying to upsell like the most expensive item, just like add a sell.
Yeah.
It's what makes sense to the dish. Never thought about
exactly
that.
What makes sense to the dish.
I'm not a server either, but that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's not easy.
And also going back to like how you treat your employees and giving them like the benefits, not just like, health benefits and all that, but extra benefits, plays into them being better at hospitality. Because you're creating like a better work environment, and it makes them want to work hard for you and do a good job for you. And then that makes better business, and then you have more people coming in your doors.
Yeah.
It's just like
it's a life skill. You're giving them a life skill too that they can take on forever, like the optimal selling. I teach them to sell with dignity, how to give good hospitality, and they can take that with them. And don't try to hoard your staff. When they want to leave, let them leave. When I encourage the owners to write letters of recommendation for the staff too, for whatever they want to do. And so if it's like that, like it works out. The staff want to stay, and they want to be there, and they want the business to thrive because they're thriving too now.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely totally makes sense, especially just playing in today's kitchen culture, restaurant culture. You have to know these things and be thoughtful of everything that's happening to have a successful business. It's very important. So I'm going to get to our last segment real quick. Yeah, I'm sure you know what it is.
Yeah, I heard it.
Tell me your best in the weeds story.
In the weeds. Oh, I mean, not this past, but last St. Patrick's Day, I was GMing for a neighborhood Irish pub called O'Connor's right here in Lakewood. And it was just balls to the walls, line out the door the whole time from 9 a.m. There was a line out the door until the line died at 11 p.m. And there was still a full house at 2 a.m. right when we closed.
Wow.
And then we did our ribbon cutting ceremony throughout in the middle of that. So I had to come in and like, I know I've got a hue going on right now, but I was like maybe at 2 p.m. I come out like all disheveled, like already like sweaty. And I had to like get it together for this like TV presentation for the city, like the Chamber of Commerce for Lakewood, do the ribbon cutting with these insanely oversized scissors and then get right back to it. I had like a mic on and like doing a ribbon cutting, like meeting the mayor while all this chaos in my ears going on. Like, hey, we need toilet broke, of course. Toilet broke at 2 p.m. So I had to go. I was fixing a toilet. I got out of the bathroom after fixing the toilet. I was like, okay, maybe a breather. And the fight breaks out right in front of me. It wasn't like a small scuffle. It wasn't crazy. So I had to break that up. And then, it was like 4 or 5 p.m. I just like had to take a breather out back and like have to do a little self-talk. Like, you can do this. It's like, suck it up. Like, just like sports stuff, right? And I just kept going. We had to turn into like a single line after a while because the bartenders were overwhelmed. And so I jumped behind the bars taking orders. It's just like
chaos.
Just doing everything.
It's chaos
all day long.
St. Patrick's Day.
So 16 hours straight.
Damn.
So
that is insane.
That was my night.
Shit. I forgot what I was gonna say again, but it was pretty funny.
Have you told your in the weed story?
I've told some in the weed stories. It's only if people want to know. I think I got some. I think I know which ones I've told. I'll tell this one. It's it's not really in the weeds, but it's just me trying to just be like when you're trying to be really fast and just moving really quick. This one time, and I was dicing tomatoes at one of the first restaurants I worked, and we would go through like probably like 600 pans of pico de gallo. And so we needed a lot of diced tomatoes all the time. And so I was doing that for my prepping, and I was just going so fast. It's a dicer, and has like the little
like a grate.
On the grate on the bottom. And then I would always like liquid it up with some oil and make it, faster.
Okay.
So I'd be like, bam, 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 bam. And then I was going so fast that I like went up, but went off of the rails, and then went back down, but on my hand.
Oh.
So then I sliced my hand open, and then I don't do well with blood.
Oh, no.
So then I passed out on the floor in the kitchen, and then they put a bag of beans on my head, and I like laid there on the bag of beans.
Did you hit your head?
No. Like I passed out, and then they like put a bag of beans underneath me. Oh. But that's not in the weed story, but I just think it's funny.
Yeah, no, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't do well with like my own blood and some other people's blood, depending on like how bad the cut is. But yeah, that's pretty funny.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like another in the weed story.
Do you get a lot nowadays? Are you doing a lot of pop-ups and stuff? So everybody comes at once? Or do you have it pretty under control?
Everyone comes at once, but there was like a in the weeds, and when I did it with my friend Pat at the last backyard event we did for Got Your Back, and we were like, oh, it's pretty slow. And it's kind of weird when you do a pop-up because everyone kind of just like comes in, but you're not sure if they're coming in to eat your food or just like go, walk around and go do other things. But everyone was like coming in was going to stand in line and wait for food.
Oh, dang.
So I was expoing and cooking at the same time. And yeah, like the line just kept getting bigger and bigger. And I was like, fuck.
Stressful.
And then I was like expoing and then trying to like plate everything and cook at the same time. And I was like, fuck, like I'm getting slammed right now. Like I'm not able to keep track of these tickets. And I made a really stupid ticket rail that was not working for me at the moment. And then I was like, I'm going down right now, and like I need help. I need someone to expo where I can like cook and finish these dishes. And then so I was yelling for my girlfriend's name. I was like, Sasha, and she couldn't hear me because she was like talking to a million people. And then I finally got her to come around. I'm like, I need the expo. Like I'm getting slammed right now. She came over at expo. And I'm like, take orders, because also like I'm expoing, but I'm also taking people's orders at the same time and cooking at the same time. So I was like, all right, I need you to take orders while I like can figure this shit out. And then she finally came and took orders, and then I could like focus on cooking and like making sure we have everything. And then it was fine after there.
Okay.
But that's probably like the most recent, like semi in the weeds. Like it's a quick fix. Like I need someone to take orders, and then like, boom, okay, we're good. But it's been a while since I've been in the weeds. I don't really feel like I get in the weeds anymore.
Yeah, you got the experience.
Like, I got the experience, and I feel like in the weeds for me moving forward would be like the printer broke, can't print a menu. That'd be in the weeds probably. Or my car broke down and I need to get to some place to cook a dinner for.
Oh, dang.
I feel like those are like in the weeds that would be happening to me sometimes.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. Where it's like fucking sabotage basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, until I get back into a restaurant, maybe we'll have another like classic in the weeds story. But for now, it's just gonna be like those kind of stories.
I felt that though. I felt that, man. And that was
sabotage, life sabotages. Where life just like punches you and like, you're not, this is gonna be harder for you today.
Yeah. Jeez. And all those people staring at you. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
felt that, man.
So that's all the time we have for today. It's really good to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, brother.
Again, Stephen reached out to us on Instagram and really wanted to be on the podcast. And we encourage anyone that's interested in being on the podcast or about the houses to, just reach out. Like, we don't really say no. I don't think we've ever said no to anyone that's just asked to be on the podcast.
Nice.
Because we're all open ears and this is never ending. So there'll be a day for you to come on.
Yeah.
So you guys should follow Stephen on Instagram, Rebar. And if you know anyone that needs help with their business, make sure you reach out to Stephen and he can be your coach.
Thank you so much for everything you do for the Long Beach scene, and thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, brother.
That's it, and that's your line check for today. We'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.